Angel 2 of the 3 games. Just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Alright, red with a small blue splash wizards deck. So very similar to red aggro here. So we've got Burning Prophet and a Zizdal, and then Dreadhorde Arcanist as other ways to kind of leverage our wizard sub-theme. Light up the stage to generate card advantage, lots of reach and different burn spells. Let's dive on into some match and see how it goes. I'd be very surprised if we got a playable cantrip in the new set. Cantrips in general tend to generate bad gameplay. Too redundant. Is there any way for the Vanityfair deck beats Force of Despair? Yeah, have them not have it on turn whatever. I'm not sure that Force of Despair is like actually that good. It's just like a removal spell a lot of the time. Like I'd much rather play against Force of Despair than like Damnation most of the time. Factor Fiction is not a cantrip. Cantrips refer to cards like Serum Visions or Opt. Cards that cost 1 mana and then replace themselves. Factor Fiction is more just like a generic card advantage spell, similar to something like Chemist's Insight as opposed to a cantrip. Hand does stuff. Just gonna play this on 1 as opposed to this, because I don't want this to get shocked. Oh, I guess I should have waited to see if I drew a basic mountain before I shocked there. No harm, no foul. Scale of 1 to dead, I assume this is on the dead side of the scale. Yep. I don't think I want to just jam this. I think I'd rather this die in a fire. Wow! I just assumed whatever I was casting there was dead. That kind of surprises me. Lava Coil in the main deck. Interesting. Oh no, they drew a lightning strike. Oh no. Oh no. This is what? This is what we get for playing? For playing cheeky cards like Samut Sprint. Just dead.
Want to go, tough guy? No problem fire can't solve.
Yeah, could be a bigger red deck for sure. So, Lava Coil. Definitely a bigger red deck. Yeah, that makes the Lava Coils make more sense.
Let us fight. Magnificent.
Alright, so need to shock this.
A dragon would rather die than lose.
I think I'm supposed to kill their Chandra here. Yeah, that can stay there.
What's that smell? Oh, it's you burning.
Alright, well. Was not expecting a W there, but I'll take it. Huh. I probably don't want Samut Sprint against a deck full of targeted removal. Ha! This makes a wizard. This is actually probably pretty okay. It likes a little bit of threat redundancy and it like makes our things harder to kill. Probably don't mind a couple copies of Negate. Probably better than Lava Coil. See how this goes. Not having a 4 damage way to kill a Sarkhan token might be a mistake, but I can send 2 spells at it. And like the negates mean I can just counter the Sarkhans when they come down. Pretty easy mulligan here. No second land, no way to draw a card. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. They also have Warlords. Very interesting. Correct. You cannot pay the alternative costs. Looks like the opponent actually might be doing something similar to what we are. They printed Nimble Mongoose. I'm so excited to make the Goose's loose references. My body is ready. I don't know. I don't think y'all realize how ready my body is to make the Goose's loose references. We got not Force of Will and we got a Nimble Mongoose. Let's go. Teamer Delver. You are my spirit animal. There's a part where they go like land Sarkhan and just bury me in the ground. Do you have a source on the Nimble Mongoose reprint? Perfect. Thank you. Stifle, please. I want more miserable gameplay. Please give me Stifle. Please give me Stifle. I definitely don't think we're getting Wasteland, but Stifle could be a card I think is like misery appropriate level for Modern. Gosh, Nimble Mongoose, Nimble Obstructionist. We're just gonna make a very nimble deck, chat. Stifle that doesn't hit fetch lands could be reasonable. I could see that as something that they put in there.
No sword can pierce my scales.
How about a shock? How about a 1-mana instinct? Can that pierce your scales?
Behold! Only human.
Alright, I want to make sure to hold the next land that I draw too, because I boarded in 2 Kasminian Devils, so she gets her loot on. He says as he draws a Kasminian Devil. Hey, Cordemi, thank you for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Rawr. Sprint towards the finish line, little Ghitu. He can't sprint. We cut those. That's just the facts. Facts just check out there. We definitely trimmed the sprints. Oh no! Did I ever beat a 3-3 with first strike, chat?
Surprise me.
Hey, Dude Light, thanks for the 5 months. I really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me around. Really, we're not killing the Kasminian Devil. 1 lightning strike, please.
Every day is a new
Alright, I think we're dead. I think I'm gonna cut these shocks and bring back in my strikes and light lava coils. Because of this. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one here. Have more ways to kill Whirly Boy. Now, it is worth noting that with this current setup, I am very light on things that I can cast back with Dreadhorde Arcanist when I don't have a way to pump it, which is something that did keep happening in the other more blue-based build that we played. Only that build had Opt at least that got to stay in. His hand just, like, doesn't do anything, right? These cards could be anything, though, chat. They could be anything. Look at that. Even a threat. They're near threshold cards we want in Modern. It's kind of an interesting question. Could be anything in the box, even a boat. That is a phenomenal draw. Lets me do this, into hit you for 2, cast light up the stage. Just like actually the Stone Cold perfect draw. Light him up. We're on fire. Oh, ho, 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 do, 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 do. Hey. Trend Tech Baker, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. Be sure to take a peek at the deck queue and let me know what's in there that you'd like to see a little bit sooner. I would love another Kasminian Devil. Get him. Get him. Urgh. Urgh. Yo, dog, I heard you like 2/2s. I got you 2/2s on top of 2/2s on top of 2/2s. She's dead, Jim. You've killed her. Are you pleased? You've killed her.
hone your control.
I think I'm ditching here. Your tier 2 bumps for 4-color Dreadhorde. Sounds good, Dude Light. That's a 4-3.
We are the future.
Huh? Did I just play another one? I think I just play another one.
It's us or them. My students are loyal and brilliant.
How is Pod? 3-2'd like a modern deck. It's a lot of X4's opponent.
Dragon's rage.
It's a lot of X4's.
Focus on what matters.
I did not board in all the coils. I boarded in 1 or 2 of them. I think we're dead, champ.
Feel the lick of my flames. Come to me.
Yeah, they literally just have 16 in the air next turn. Just don't have good attacks. Yeah, everything we attack with takes 2 damage from the dragons as well. This is like the tougher part of the standard season where like everything's basically more defined in the format for this point. So a lot of these decks that people are going to be sending in, we're going to be able to make like very direct comparisons to like this deck is bad mono red. Like yesterday we played the Abzan Angels deck and it was just like this deck's just a worse version of Abzan Hero. Like we've kind of tried a lot of different things and like shaken the trees a bunch and we like know pretty much what's good and what's bad. And like it's still worth exploring some new ideas, but a lot of the new ideas that we try, we're going to be able to pigeonhole into, well, this was just a worse version of this other thing we've already played. Niantuko Monastery. There's a card that takes me back. That's a card name I haven't heard for a while. I think I just want more spells here. This is basically Lightning Bolt, right? Think I can do better? Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. This past week it was on an MCQ. It was just a large cash tournament. I went 2-2. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him. There are 4 copies of Dreadhorde Arcanist in our deck. As always, you can type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. Oh no. I stepped away to get a snack and I saw, I was like, oh, I drew a lethal spell. And then it wasn't lethal anymore. Sad panda. Sprint tends to be kind of bad against people who have a lot of spot removals. I think that's an easy trim. They likely don't have a lot of creatures, so Kasmina seems fine. She protects from spot removal too, which is nice. And then Negate counters some of the random removal spells. I mean, Elves just kills by turn 4 very consistently, Chewy. You don't really care about Karn Liberated, and you can sometimes kill them through a Worm Coil engine. I actually think Elves lines up very well against Tron. Especially when you have a bunch of Damping Spheres in the 75. This deck is like feel smart mono red. Yeah, kind of. We definitely, like, the lack of, like, an Experimental Frenzy or, like, a Chandra at the top end feels a little bit bad. I definitely got mono, we're definitely mono red adjacent. Hey, Bert. Thanks for 5-month resub. Welcome back. I'd imagine the Pyrohelixes are in the sideboard for the Land War Elves matchup if I had to venture a guess. Yeah, the 2-2 split on Frenzy and Chandra seems like where you want to be in life. Seems more than reasonable. If I recall correctly, the latest one in my Stream Decker is a couple cards different in the sideboard of what I played this past weekend. Just like with Standard, you can find a ton of modern deck lists on my website, including Green-Black Elves. In fact, there's so many modern decks on my website, they're broken down by category. And this is a pretty good example of like could you imagine if these were just like Experimental Frenzy or if these were Experimental Frenzy or Chandra. Instead, I'm sitting here stuck on these. MB, any chance the Ebs and Hero deck can be the next deck you play? I don't shuffle the decks around midstream, MB. Except for really large donations, because I like people to be able to know what to expect when I fire up in the morning. So, Ebs and Hero will definitely be up today. But I don't like people like nickel and diming each other, like trying to get their lists above or below the day of. It's just too much to keep track of. Again, holding on to this land, because when I draw a blue source, I want something in my hand that I want to discard to Kasmina. Yeah, definitely, MB. It's just like the little Arcanist that could, just chugging along here. Poor little Arcanist, he was too pure for this world. Did I consider changes to the absent hero list from yesterday? Yeah, I shuffled around a few things. I put Kaya's back in. I worked some Tecatli honor guards back into the 75 too, because the Command the Dreadhorde decks have been popular recently. I think 24 creatures and a Molder Hulk deck is enough, maybe. I don't know exactly what that archetype looks like. Yep. I think we would have probably solidly won this game had these Kasminias been just like, had we just been a mono red deck and these Kasminias had been something with text. Hey, SB Joe, thanks for the half of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So, for those talking about the mana, again, I would encourage you to stop using your feelings and instead use math. So, if I add a 9th blue source to the deck, I'm 96% to have a blue source in that game. With the 8 blue sources that I have, I'm 94.3%, so I gain barely 2% in a game like that to hit my blue source with just one more additional blue. So I think, I'm not certain that, like, adding a land to my sideboard is worth, like, gaining 1.8% in a situation like that. And again, I get it, like, it feels bad, but, like, make mathematically sound arguments. So, like, is playing an island in my sideboard worth improving 1 in 50 games? That's the kind of question you have to ask yourself. Yeah, I agree with that. It's less than 50 games too. It's only 1 in 50 for the post-board games, which is only 2/3 of your games at most. Sometimes only 50% of your games. So it's like 1 in 50 of half of your games. So it's like, and like, when we're in situations like this, we're really far behind. Not having a card like Experimental Frenzy in our deck to drag us back into the game kicking and screaming is a tough sell. And this is so, when we played the iteration of Wizards we played last time, I explicitly mentioned I didn't build the deck like this. I'm actually glad that we get to see this comparison here, because I really feel like this deck just feels like bad mono red. just like it's doing very similar things, but has diluted its tools. Whereas like the blue-red build that we had played just felt like it was a different deck. Like it had some overlap, but it was just like doing things that are a little bit unique overall. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Yeah, overall this felt like a bit of a miss for me. It basically felt like we took mono red, and instead of having the really busted payoffs in Chandra and Experimental Frenzy, we like have this card that dies to a bolt, and we're like playing this card as well. I think as far as Wizards was concerned, I much preferred the blue-red, the more blue-red list as opposed to being mono-red splash Cinderwind, just so that way you're like kind of doing something that's uniquely different than what mono red's doing. And I do think this card is worth testing. This card was good when we played it today in that other build. We didn't play this last time, and Burning Prophet seems reasonable. But as far as the whole core of the deck goes, I preferred the other iteration that we had played previously. So if you didn't catch that